record your voice 100 times if you wanted to. And just keep on recording until you felt comfortable saying the word out loud to yourself in this
How did
recording.
you get to that particular screen?
Which one?
The one you're in now?
The one I'm in now? On the menu,
Yeah.
over here, if you open it up, you're going to look for the lesson that's called pronunciation. So that's how you find that. I'll also show you where you can find that on the practice activities, or the practice section as well. And you can continue to go through all the activities in here. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I do recommend starting with the welcome lesson. It walks you through a few of the activities. It's going to show you how to basically use the program. If at any point you haven't ever opened up an activity before, these fantastic help overlays will display and actually show you what to do in this activity. So it's going to tell you, you read the meaning, and then you listen. Oh, I don't know why it's cutting off down here. You listen to the Spanish sounds and choose the correct answer. So this one is kind of a memory game. You're going to hear 4 different Spanish words, and you're supposed to pick the one that actually means hello. If at any point you don't want these help overlays, you think they're annoying, you don't want to see them ever again, you just click this little checkbox down here, and you'll be able to disable them. I'm not going to disable them because I use this account for demoing, so I don't want to disable them. You can turn them back on if you want to as well, but for first-time users of the program, these help overlays are very helpful in just letting you understand what you're supposed to do in the activity. And once you're done with this set of words and phrases, your learned items chart will go up by 5. So mine did not because I didn't go through all of the activities, but that's what will happen. It'll go up by 5, and you'll have 5 words and phrases learned right off the bat. Kind of gives you a little bit of motivation to keep going, but it's a great lesson to get started with.
I have a stupid question.
No stupid
Is
questions.
there a built-in microphone in computers?
Some computers have a built-in microphone, yes.
Yeah.
Depending on the age of the computer, I don't want to say that yours does for sure,
Okay.
but you can use your built-in microphone. I use an external microphone, which
Is that
works
a
fine.
USB thing?
Yep, it's just a USB microphone. This also works. It's just a little one that I have on a stand. I also use my iPhone headset that has the speaker attached to the cord. That also works perfectly fine. I've never had an issue with that. But it just, whatever works best for you to use.
And is this restricted to certain versions of Windows? Yeah, I noticed you're using Chrome, right?
I'm using Chrome. I will note that we are having an issue right now that we're trying to solve. There's an issue with the Firefox web browser. So if you're using Firefox, there's an issue where the sounds are not coming through right now. They're working back at the office to try and fix whatever that issue is. So in the meantime, I recommend just using a different browser other than Firefox until that's fixed. But in general, I love the Chrome browser. I think it works great. I've never really had issues with it, so I recommend Chrome. You can also use Safari. If you have a question about the actual system requirements, I believe it should be, I think it's on the first, it's on the login screen. The system requirements are on the login screen. But as long as your web browser is up to date, there shouldn't really be an issue, especially if you have a newer computer. You should be able to use the microphone that's built into it, and the operating system should be okay. Okay. So also on the dashboard, there's a couple other things up here. I've kind of clicked on them quickly, but this Go Mobile button. You also have a handout that I gave to everyone that tells you how to get the mobile app. But if you're signed into your account, those same directions are pretty much available in here. To get the mobile app on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or an Android device, you go, or a Kindle application, or Kindle, I'm sorry, Kindle uses the Amazon store. You can find the Transparent Language mobile app. Don't be fooled by this pop-up here. that doesn't show the Apple App Store over here on your tablet. 2 notes about that. Apple is very restrictive on what you can call a tablet application. So our mobile application is actually meant for phones. It can just also be used on tablets. That being said, Apple will not let us publicize the application as being a tablet application, even though it works on your tablet. So you can still get the app on your tablet, it's just we're not actually legally allowed to say that you can do that in this program. To find the app on your tablet, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you actually need to switch the search. And it does say on that sheet, you need to switch the search from iPad only to iPhone only. So you just need to make that switch. Otherwise, if you're on your tablet, you can just go right to your web browser and use the program. You don't have to use an application on your tablet to actually use this program. The back end of the program is done in HTML5, which means it will completely function right through your tablet web browser. So if you want to just use your web browser on your tablet, go for it. I would highly recommend it. And then if you want to get the app on your phone, just follow the directions for downloading that are on those sheets to get the app.
I have a question, and
Yeah.
I may have missed it because there was a few minutes
No worries.
detained. So if it's going to be mobile, does that mean you don't have to go to the library site to have access?
Sign in through the library.
Yes. Or do you still, if you're using your phone, does that mean you get signed into the library, but you still have to get an application to use it?
Right, so the first time that you create an account in Transparent Language Online, you have to go through the library's website. So you have to go through Hooksett Public Library, go to Transparent Language Online and authenticate, insert, with your barcode and your username. It will then bring you over to Transparent Language Online to a login page where there's a blue sign up button. Once you sign up and you actually are authorized to sign up, which passing that, seeing that sign up button means you're authorized. After you've done that, you no longer have to continue to go back through those steps. You can just go right to library.transparent.com/HooksitNH. And that you'll be able to use your sign-in credentials that you created to access.
What if a patron's no longer registered in the library?
That is a really good question.
It's just something I think we'll probably have to look into because right now, in general, we'd say this is exclusive to Hooksett Library patrons with active cards and stuff.
Of course, yeah. That's a really good question. I need to check on how that actually works. I don't want to say anything about that until I check on that. I can email Matt though and let him know what I found if that works. And once you get the app on your phone, or if you choose to get it on your tablet, the app is going to ask you for a mobile username and password. Unfortunately, this is not the same password that you use to create your account. It's these credentials, well, don't steal mine, but it's these credentials right here on the screen. So it's gonna ask you for the credentials. You're just gonna wanna sign into your account on your computer or your tablet just to see these credentials so you can insert them on your phone. Once you've signed in on your phone through the app, you will never have to sign in again because it won't sign you out. It'll just automatically log you in every time. So you won't have to remember this ALM number at the end because it's really confusing. You won't have to remember that, so don't
Where do
worry.
you get those?
Where did we get those?
Where would I get those?
Once you create an account.
Oh, it would give me my username and when I go into the library thing, it will give me that information?
When you click on the mobile, it automatically comes up for you on the screen.
So you would actually create an account. You would go to the Hooksett Library website. So you would come over here to the language learning section. You would come in here. You'd enter your library browser, your password. After you click login, it'll bring you right over to Transparent Language Online, where you will be able to sign up for an account. So you have to
So I
create
would
a
have to
separate.
create it myself. I would create those.
Right.
Okay.
For Transparent Language Online. The mobile app uses your same username, it just uses a different password because it's the way we authenticate that you're actually able to access the mobile application through the library. So this password here will be a little bit different than what you created. So you just want to get it from your account when you have a chance so that you can put it on your phone. The directions on the sheet that I handed out to you,
You know, I'm here?
it will tell you everything you need to know about getting the app on your
Oh,
phone.
good.
I promise.
Can non-Hooksett Library people sign on to librarytransparent.com and create an account? Is there a charge to use that service?
They cannot sign on there. I'll actually show you what happens.
I mean, do you have a commercial website or?
We do. So if I just go right to this website here, it should, right, tells me that I'm not authorized to create an account with this library. If I have an account already, I can log in, which would be what you would have created already. But because I didn't pass through the library's authentication by putting in my library barcode and my password, it's not actually letting me create an
Right,
account.
I understand that.
Is there a
A
particular?
coworker
Okay.
lives in Londonderry, does not belong to the Hooksett Library.
Where does the coworker work?
I don't know what to say.
Okay, the town.
Oh, he works in Manchester.
Okay, I believe if you work in the same town, if you work in a town, you can also get a library card in that town. Manchester Library does subscribe to Transparent Language Online. So
So
if that worker,
in order to use Library Transparent,
Yeah.
you have to go through a library.
a subscribing library,
So
that's
there's
correct.
no commercial side of it.
We do have a system that you can pay for,
That's what I'm getting at.
because your coworker works in Manchester, Manchester Public Library does subscribe to Transparent Language Online, so they could get it for free without having to pay for it.
Right.
Otherwise,
If they chose not to do that,
it's $30 a month.
a month, okay.
Yep, but I would recommend going to the library because it's free. And it's paid for, and you work in that city, so.
Does any library in the city have this, or just certain ones?
Not every library in New Hampshire. There are many libraries in southern New Hampshire that subscribe to Transparent Language Online. Is there another library or?
Well, someone that lives in Bedford, for instance.
Bedford also subscribes to Transparent Language Online. So if you ever had a question about it, you could always call up the library, go to their website, have a look around, see if it's there. But Bedford and Manchester both subscribe. So getting a library card from one of those libraries would allow you to also create an account.
Okay.
But each library has their own dedicated URL. So Hooksett's looks like this, Bedford's is a little bit different, Manchester's is also a little bit different. So they wouldn't be able to use the same web address that you're using, but they'd be able to use the one specific to that
So
library.
basically, the library homepage provides you with a link to the
Correct.
Hooksett.com Hooksett.
The Hooksett one does, yep. Manchester does
You
it
go
for
through
Manchester's.
Manchester Library
Yeah.
website, which would link you to the, okay.
Correct. So they'd be able to do it that way.
Not to change the subject.
No worries.
What is that science, like, let's say like the English language, where it breaks up every word of how that word came about, the science of
Oh.
language. Is the root word, yeah, what is that called? What is, entomology?
I can't pronounce.
I'm not gonna try and pronounce it either.
Oh, here.
We do not do that. So you
No.
won't find,
Turn it into a game show.
it could really, yeah. I almost feel like I'm on Jeopardy today or something, you know?
Are there books on there? I'll have to check with YouTube.
Does the app sync with your progress?
Sure does. Yep, and anything you learn in the app, anything that you learn on your tablet, switching between the devices, your progress will be saved as you switch between the different devices. So whatever learning you do on your tablet, and then you go home later at night and you start learning again on your computer, all of that is gonna be
It's in
synced
one
up.
account.
Yep, it's just one account. You don't need different accounts on the different devices. It's all tied together. So in addition to, I did want to mention the practice activities. So I know there was a question about doing the pronunciation practice. If I want to just do pronunciation practice with whatever content that I pick, I can come down here to this practice section on my dashboard. I can find pronunciation practice, and it's going to prompt me to select the content that I want to use. So I could select any content. Let's say I just want to use, I'm feeling like I want to do animals today. So I just select the animals list that I want to learn. I can select more than 2. And then I just hit practice selected. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to launch the pronunciation practice activities with all of the content that was contained in those 2 lists that I selected. And I'm only going to do pronunciation practice. I'm not going to do any of the other activities, no multiple choice activities, no language comparison, no previewing activities. I'm only doing pronunciation practice. So this is a great place if you're just, these practice activities are great if you're just looking to focus on a particular skill. So you can do that with the pronunciation practice. If you were looking to maybe do it with, you were looking to practice your writing skills, your typing skills in the language, you could also do that in here as well. So you can, these little pens here, these indicate writing activities, so you can also do that in here. The writing activities are, they're typing, you type on your keyboard. I will show you, come in here real quick and just, here we go. So I can actually practice my typing abilities in the language as well. There's 2 different modes of typing in a language. You can use the full keyboard, or you can switch that off if that's a little bit too overwhelming for you, and you can use this easy typing mode. Easy typing is great because it just shows you about 4 or 5 choices for each of the different characters or letters that you're trying to spell out. So it goes in order. I am just going to, let me see. So I was wrong already. It's going to show me what the correct word that I was trying to spell is. It's also going to show me what I should have selected. This is in green, and this one's in red. That might be a little bit tough to see on the projector. But then I can go back, and I can retry it again.
Siempre.
Now that I got it right, it pronounces it to me, and it moves me on to the next one. So the typing activities are really great. They really jog your memory, and they're fun to do. And like I said, you can do them in either mode. You can use that easy typing, or you can use the full keyboard. And the keyboard does map to your keyboard. So I could either click it with my mouse. I know that's completely wrong. Or I could type on my keyboard itself. So it's whatever works best for you. If you don't, if you're on your tablet, it's going to be typing it with your fingers and touching the actual keys on there. Yes.
Back to the pronunciation.
Yeah.
I know this is sort of interactive. The English word is above, and then you type how to spell it in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
In the pronunciation, it'll pronounce it, the Spanish word, but it doesn't give the English what word it is that you're pronouncing.
No, it does not. Not for that particular activity, it does not. you're just being asked in that activity to record your pronunciation of that word or phrase. It's not showing you. In previous activities, if you went in order, you would have already seen the English translation for that word multiple times beforehand. So the practice activities are great, like I said, if you just want to focus on a particular skill, whether it's reading or writing, you can do that all from down here. The practice activities don't have all of the activities that you might find in a full lesson. It's just a small portion of activities. We're always adding more, so you may come back one day and you may see 10 more practice activities that you can use, so it just depends on what we're doing at the time we're developing work.
Does the app notify you if there's something new in the language that you're learning?
The app itself that's on your phone does not. We're working on creating a way to notify just users in general when there are updates to this system, not necessarily updates to a particular language having content added. If you were interested, like those Cinco de Mayo lessons or the baseball lessons, when that sort of content was added, I recommend following our blog. We have a language news blog, and it's different blog articles every day, but every time we add a new lesson, we always post what that new lesson is in the blog. And then if you are part of a subscribing library, that lesson will automatically be available in that language anyway. So you just kind of know ahead of time that it was coming. And speaking of blogs, there's also this resources tab over here. So the resources tab will be different for every language that you're looking at, but for Spanish, there are blogs available. There's Facebook communities, Twitter communities, there's a YouTube channel for Spanish. There's also Word of the Day. Word of the Day is really great. You can subscribe to Word of the Day. It actually will send you a new word every day to learn. It will send it to you
Will
with...
it send an email?
It will. Yep, you can subscribe via email to get that. And it will email it to you. It will tell you whatever the word or phrase is. We'll also use it in a sample sentence, and that sample sentence will have a translation in English, and it'll also have a native speaker pronunciation associated with it. So it's a really cool little tool if you're looking just to kind of get, some language, if you're looking to just see a little bit of language every day, and you don't have time to come in here and do that. So like I said, resources vary by language, but just kind of go online, check them out, see what's there. The blogs, this would be our Spanish blog itself. So you will actually find, these are constantly being added to as well. Sometimes it's news articles that our blogger is talking about. Other times it's cultural events that they're talking about. Sometimes there's videos associated with it. You may also find that there's this one is in Spanish. So maybe if you're a little bit more advanced and you're looking for something, this particular blog article is in Spanish, and it also has vocabulary words associated with it. So you can see the author of this particular blog article is trying to get you to learn a couple of vocabulary words and what their English translation of it is. This one is an entire blog article about the Spanish vocabulary about the economy. So there's just fun stuff in here for every language. So check it out, see what's there. Might be something interesting to you.
Is the language which is no longer being used, but at one time they wanted it to be the one word language, Esperanto, is that still being used anywhere?
I know we have content for Esperanto in here. You can actually learn some Esperanto content. I'm not sure about its use. I know there's communities dedicated to preserving the Esperanto language, so I'm assuming that there are people that are still speaking it. I don't know if there's people speaking it day in and day out, but so if you wanted to learn some Esperanto, we've got that for you.
United Nations still uses the headphones and the translators, right?
I think so. I don't want to say for sure.
That is one of the most difficult job to do,
Yeah,
translating
right.
from one language to another.
Oh, yeah.
If you take a leave of absence, you lose it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I don't doubt it.
It'll take a while before you get back into it.
I don't doubt it. It's a tough job. So are there any other questions I can answer for anyone?
What is this?
Those go around the handles of your tote bags and your luggage. I have more if you want more.
Oh.
So I bring them because if people are learning a language, maybe they're traveling abroad somewhere and they have a black suitcase and they want something to identify their black suitcase when it comes off the conveyor belt. That's what I use it for. It is a fantastic piece. That's what I use it for, and I can always see it coming around. So I have more of them if anyone wants more. And they're really great too if you have groceries and you have multiple bags, those reusable bags. I've tied multiple bags, multiple handles together so I can easily just pick them all up in one and then go.
I thought it was put all your cord, you know, like the,
I've seen
put
that
the
done.
cords in there, so, you know.
I've seen that done too.
I was trying to think, oh my God.
I was just saying to this lady, I bet you a child would have known.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
No, really, they know everything.
They do. Any other questions?
Is this age related at all? Like, my granddaughter is learning Spanish in grade school. She speaks quite a bit of it. If I sign on at home, talk to her from the computer, she's very literate computer. I mean, with a little showing, she could,
What grade and
she's going into second grade. But
I
she's-
don't recommend it for second graders. I usually recommend it for grades 4 and above. That's just what we found. We actually did a program with this system out in East Kingston, New Hampshire. They started with their 3rd graders using it and also their 4th and 5th graders, and the 3rd graders just tended to struggle a little bit using it, even though they were very computer literate, they weren't quite there yet. So I recommend for grades 4 and above, but it's a lot of travel vocabulary. You're gonna find a lot of travel vocabulary. You also find business, you also find medical vocabulary, you also find just general everyday terms. But I usually recommend it for grades 4 and above. But you could try.
No,
You could put her in front of it and
she
see what she
thinks quite a bit
does.
of it,
Yeah.
already. Maybe the pronunciation part of it will help.
Maybe, yeah, for sure. If there are no more questions, I'm done. But if you have any questions, I'll stick around just until everyone leaves. So if you just want to ask me something personally, you're
I
right.
have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a help key up there anywhere, the question mark? thing?
Yes, the question mark is a help section. So whatever screen you're actually on, so I was on the resources screen in here, it's going to bring me up all the help files related to the resources section.
Or you can go to the glossary and I'll give you.
Yep, and these help files are written by an amazing woman, and she is very thorough and detailed with them. So if you ever have a question about something, go right to that little question mark.
Does this program teach you idiomatic expressions in whatever language you're studying?
It will for some, yes. Not all the time, depending on the language. We have an English course that does a lot of that, but for most of the languages, we don't do that as much in the language. So it just depends.
Now, we obviously can use this on our computer.
Yeah.
Now, I forgot my password for my Apple, so I have to get that when I get home and I'll transfer it over to my phone. Once the app is on my phone, I can use it on my iPad or not.
You can, the app on your phone, you can use regardless.
Yeah.
You don't have to have both. I recommend on your tablet, I recommend just using the full program, just going right, opening up a web browser and going right to the full program.
Okay,
I find the mobile application is a broken down version of the actual online version, so it's more for learning on the go. If you're sitting on the bus and you just want to
Gotcha,
quickly refresh
gotcha.
some words or phrases,
okay,
but the online system that's accessed through your web browser is much more comprehensive. So
Okay.
I would recommend that for your tablet.
okay, sounds good.
Is there a customer support or a live chat?
Yes, I did.
We do have customer
I think it's
support.
amazing.
It should
Yeah,
be
pretty-
available.
It's pretty robust.
It
There's
is.
a lot of
Let me
different
see,
languages and-
contacting us.
Yeah.
So in the help files, you'll find this contacting us down here. And you are gonna wanna look for this general support line.
Now, is there a charge?
People learn a lot.
Using our
This is
support,
everything, you can just.
you can also
So
email
much.
us.
It's like having your own-
I'm sorry, the support
Yeah, have
email
your own
is down
teacher right
here.
there in front of you, teaching.
Now, that's that help menu, correct?
So were you able to?
I'm sorry?
You're in the help menu,
No,
right?
I
I
don't
am in
know.
help. So if you
I'm
did a
not
question
sure.
on our technical
When
support, thank you
I
more
think
than happy to
I
help.
went to the Hooksett Library and somehow I downloaded this app. But it has like, I don't know, my
Sure,
username and my
yeah.
password.
On the line?
Sure, yeah, but you,
If you don't mind, I would like to say 2 more of these, if that's okay.
Go for it. Do you need my phone number or anything?
Well, is that all that- yeah.
Sure, let me spell my name.
let's try it.
Probably not.
Oh,
I know I'm
okay,
okay.
all right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I don't even have my password, on my Apple password.
Oh, nice.
No.
Oh, awesome, that's great, yeah. Thank you so much. No problem.
We'll just grab
Oh, de nada.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm excited about this.
You've already gotten more than my space.
I've done Kinsler and I've done.
Thank you.
I've
You
done
can
a couple
hire.
of French classes, but I think this will be, I'll be more eager to do this.
I hope so, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great
yeah,
program.
yeah.
You may find as you're starting out, if you start off at Unit 1, you may find it's a little bit too basic for what
Which is
you
fine.
may already
Which is
know.
fine.
So I recommend
I'm
just,
like,
if you're at Unit 1, you say this is too
Almost.
basic, just go to Unit 2
Yeah.
and just kind of
It's
take a
hard for
look.
me to do
You
these
can also
things. I try to
join the
do it if I
program
have
as
something
well.
to go by, but then I get lost.
You're looking right up there. You can also, if you're ever curious, so Unit 1, you're just, you know,
Yeah,
you start at
yeah,
Unit 1.
Yep,
You want to just look at what's in it. You can
Oh,
view
okay.
contents on here. So it'll actually show
and that's in
you.
the French also?
Oh yeah, it's in every language. So it'll
Okay.
show you exactly what you're going to learn.
Okay,
So you can also use that as a tool for understanding if you just say, oh yeah, I know that word, that word, that word. So I don't need to start with this one. I'm going to
Right.
use a different lesson.
Right.
So the units, as you go from Unit 1 to Unit, sometimes they're between 10 and 12 units. They do get higher.
Right.
You know, they do get a little bit harder
Right.
as you go down.
Right.
So just look at that.
Yeah. Because really, basically, right now, I went to a couple of classes for the French. I went to high school, but
And because you're inside the
Then,
library, you don't
I
need
didn't
to.
grasp that much. It was more, I had to learn myself. The teacher wasn't that good. I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. So after the second time, I said, you
I
know
have
what?
my card, but it
She's
did
not
not
a
have
really good
to take
teacher. She kept referring us to the book and
Okay.
whatever.
So
I got a
you're
bunch of
thinking
CDs. I
maybe
got the
have
Kinsler and I
created
got
a-
another one.
We could try signing up. Let's
It's
try
a
signing up
French
and see, 'cause once you get
name,
this signed,
the gentleman that
so if you want to
gives the
fill
lessons.
those out. you
And
just
it's great, but
put
it's
in
all repetition,
a
repetition.
username.
Oh,
This,
you have to put a
I
new
feel
one?
like I'm
I mean, I have to
participating in it.
make one?
You're gonna find
Like a
some
username?
repetitions.
Yeah,
You
if
are,
don't
which is
have
fine.
one
you
already,
are
That's how
going
you learn.
to, right. So
you
you're
could
gonna,
try it. If you
so
try to
in
sign
like
up
the
with an
welcome lesson,
email
you
address
were
that you've
learning
used before,
5 words.
We'll tell you.
Very welcome lesson.
Right, right.
But you're using different activities to
Right,
learn them. So you're
right.
actually using all 4 of your skills.
Right.
Language
Like
skills,
using-
reading,
so
writing, listening, speaking. You go
exactly.
through it.
Like
So
exactly.
you're typing it out.
Yes.
You're also
Something like
pronouncing
your
it.
first
And you're also
initial,
just,
last name,
you're
something
hearing the
like
word.
Right,
So different,
right.
that. Or,
different ways of
something you'll want.
producing.
And I like the fact that you
You wanna write
can
it down
say it
first.
yourself
Yeah.
and see how
just-
close
that's
you are.
so
Because
cool.
pronunciation
So that's my,
is hard for me.
we'll use it.
Because even in the classes, it's to get that, my parents were French, but they didn't carry it on with
Then
us.
you're
You
eating
know,
Oh, that's
I've
a
got that
shame,
heavy
actually.
Massachusetts accent and trying to
Yours
speak
isn't bad, actually. I wouldn't have
French.
known.
French, you know, it's like, what?
No, you'll, if you walk through the different the learning skills, the
Yeah.
different activities, you
Yeah.
will find, you do pick up on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I actually one day just wanted to test
Name.
something,
Is that just
so I decided to
name,
learn the
James?
Russian alphabet
Yeah.
out just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna actually do this.
Yeah,
And I went through and I did all the activities to learn the Russian alphabet, typing and everything, and then the next day I came back and I was still remembering the stuff that I had learned. So
Good.
it was really cool. And
Well,
Russian, so
64
Russian's different,
characters.
it's Cyrillic alphabet, and it's just, it's
That's-
so different than anything I've ever
Spaces.
tried to learn. So it does, using the different activities, it really, you gets your gears going in your mind.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised when we found out Chinese was the number one, but is that based on the population of the world? Is that a worldwide population? That's why there's so many Chinese-speaking people, because obviously, there's more Chinese than there is Americans. You
That's a good
understand what I'm
question,
saying?
yeah.
Is that how it's based? Because I can't believe there are a million people here in the United States that speak Chinese over English.
Long way.
Well, it's not in the United States, it's a worldwide.
This is why,
statistics.
right, so worldwide. I get
Worldwide
that makes
statistics,
sense.
yeah. Most, if you, looking at statistics like that, if you
Yeah.
look at the top languages, you will find that it's, those should be worldwide stats. I don't know in the United States what
I want to tell
the
you.
numbers are. There are, I mean, in major cities, there are significant,
Chinese population.
Chinese
I understand,
Asian
I
population
understand
in
that,
general.
yeah.
Okay, good.
But-
So you didn't have.
So you
Oh,
will,
didn't-
it-
So I don't know how I got that, maybe I went to.
I wouldn't say that's in the
because I
United
went and
States.
clicked on.
No, I
that.
wouldn't either.
at all.
I wouldn't either.
So
I
what she was
hate
just saying a moment
saying I'm
ago,
positive
too,
about
is that
something
when
that
you
I'm
have
not.
a
Right.
tablet like
I'm almost
this,
certain that's it.
Yeah.
You can use
Yeah.
That would be a
the
worldwide.
regular website as opposed to.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Laura, it was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, thanks for coming, thanks for
Yeah.
sticking with us.
Yeah, she said it had more if you went
And
to
looking forward to learning this.
the real one.
I'm gonna go home and download it on my phone. Like
Awesome.
you said, it's better off just use the full-blown version.
On your tablet, I would.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
it's the app only walks you through,
Yep.
3 activities and then
Right.
a quiz.
And
So it's a
I'll-
very, very
And you may have to
small,
log in again, I'm not sure.
very
But this
small
one
set
might have
of
you, 'cause
content.
that's
And I'm
the
gonna be
one
able to do on the
So
tablet.
you
So I should get rid of that.
So,
Yeah.
once I log in
Well, I can, 'cause I
on my
got to put
tablet,
that, so you
it'll
just like-
recognize me because I'm already
Oh, yeah.
signed up. I won't have any issues.